And many of you, when I asked, so which step of the roadmap do you feel you need to work on? Many of you voted for step 7. I hope you can see this. It's the energy expert. So what it says really is you know how to think in units of energy instead of units of time and adapt to your body's needs. You live in your body, not in your schedule. And this is the key to good health. Now, in these three lines, there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of key ideas of thinking in units of time and thinking units of energy instead of units of time and adapt to your body's needs. Now, what is that all about? We're going to talk about that today. It is in the third leg of the journey, because the idea is that first, when you create that mental space, that's the first leg, you really simplify your life, you have moments of rest, you feel more mental calm. That's when you have the space to boost your motivation. That's the second leg of the journey. Your fire, you can feel your fire, you can get enthusiastic about things that you like because you're not stressed out with the million to-do lists and the things of the first leg, right? But so when you have that rest and you have that fire, the danger is that you will fill all the time slots in your schedule with stuff that you want to do, projects you want to do, combine 3 projects at the same time, right? And do so many things at once. That is a danger, which is why when you get into the third leg, the awareness step here, the 7th step or building block is how to become an energy expert so that you get good at dividing your energy. Let me just quickly stop the share here. There we go. Because one of the biggest issues we talk about in this group is just that we're always being busy. We're jumping from one activity to the next. There's no time to move, eat, rest. We want to do stuff for our health, but we feel like we need to fill up our time with useful things all the time, with crossing of things of our to-do lists, with, you know, that addiction to productivity, really. And that's what many high achievers talk about. So it's a serious problem because physically we feel drained and exhausted. And mentally, we never feel satisfied. We feel restless. And we even get frustrated when we're trying to rest. So you raise your stress levels and you don't realize what that pressure is doing to your health and your happiness. When you're always trying to chase your to-do list, always using your time to do useful things, and you see we see our schedule in blocks of time and we want to fill it up all in advance. If you recognize yourself in this, say yes in the comments so that I know I'm on the right track here. I read many people in the group are struggling with this. If you recognize yourself, say yes or say, hey, I suffer from this aspect of being a high achiever, right? Because the problem is we calculate our activities, our weeks, in units of time, not in units of energy. Why do we do this? Here's the truth about that. Time is predictable. We have 24 hours in a day. It's easy to divide, and Mads recognizes himself in using the time to its fullest potential. You know how much you have every day. It's consistent, and we like that, and it gives us a sense of stability. But it's killing our health, our well-being, our happiness, our relationships. When we constantly say, I don't have time, it's that constant stressor or pressure that we feel because we see the time slots and we don't want to have empty places. We want to, oh, I have 1 hour of time and I still need to do this and that, I'm going to do it. In the meantime, we don't even notice when we're exhausted. And we kind of ignore the fact that we're feeling tired, we feel like we're getting sick. We don't pay attention to how much energy do I really have left to fill this hour with a lot of activities, things of my to-do lists. When we calculate in units of energy, regularly check in with our body. There's a flow. It's different every day. And the thing is, it's not predictable. It's not stable. It's an uncertainty factor, and our brains don't like uncertainty. We don't like the flexibility. And it's a weird idea, right? That we don't like it, but we want it somehow. We want to be flexible. We don't want to have everything planned in advance, but we do. So we have our full schedule and we're like, oh, I wish I just had nothing now. Well, you plan your time. When you fill up every time slot in your schedule, that's all on you. That was your decision, right? You fill up your schedule as much as you want to. So this is the key. Live in your body, not in your schedule. And when you're getting sick, for example, when I feel like I'm getting a cold, before I get a cold, I feel something in my throat. I feel a slight pressure on my nose. And I've been working on this for the past 10 years, the body scans and being aware of my body. So I'm very in touch with the sensations in my body. And so when I'm getting a cold, I feel it right away and I feel a little bit more tired. And I know that's the moment where I need to back off, where I need to, hey, Sokaina, how are you? My first live. Yes, how excited. I was just thinking, hey, it's nice to see you here. We're talking about how to become an energy expert. And if you missed the part, you can always check out the replay, but it's great to have you here. But we're talking about how we always fill up the spaces in our schedule, how we think in units of time instead of units of energy. So when we have our time fully booked, we feel like we're getting a cold, most people keep pushing. They keep going to these activities because they promised this person, because they registered for that, because they have to. That's when you get sick, because your body needs its energy to fight off whatever it's fighting to get better, to not get sick. So right now for me, I designed my schedule in a way that I don't want to fill it up too much. And I want to have enough flexibility to listen to my body when I need to, and I don't get sick anymore, and I don't feel overly stressed. Now, let me know in the comments, what is your mental dilemma in this? What is a dilemma that you feel when you're trying to schedule things, but you want to be flexible and you feel stressed because you have so much to do, but in the end, it's you decide how much you do. Let me know so we can discuss that a bit and have some examples. Because think about all the pressure that you put on yourself that's not really necessary. An example is when I was in Peru, I was totally in the mindset of being flexible with my time. The evenings were empty, and when I felt like seeing a friend, I would. When I felt like staying at home, I would. And I didn't have that sense of, it's funny how being in a different culture just helps you think differently, behave differently. And I didn't feel like I wanted to be productive all the time. Then my brother visited me, and he was stressing over the fact that he wanted to go to the gym 3 times a week, but he also wanted to rehearse with his band twice a week. And then it was like, oh, but then I don't have any evening by myself at home with nothing. So he was stressing over his free time. And I looked at him and I said, this is your free time. These are hobbies that you love doing. You're stressing over the hobbies that you love doing. You're stressing over your free time. And I couldn't understand. And now, of course, I do, now that I'm back in Belgium and I get that more of that mindset again. I actively looked for hobbies now that are flexible. For example, I know now in Belgium it's not possible, but before I did salsa for 1 evening a week, then it was 2 evenings a week. And then someone asked me to do a 3rd class of bachata, and I was like, no, I want the rest of the week to be flexible. It's fine to have 2 days of something fixed, but the rest of it, I want to follow my body and see. Even salsa I could cancel when I felt like it. But social life, when I feel like it, not seeing anyone when I don't feel like it, and just have that flexibility to follow the flow. Now, Matt says, I don't know when my energy will be flowing and when it won't. Sometimes I'll be completely unmotivated. Exactly. Well, that's that motivation piece as well that influences our energy and how it flows. It's a very big one, because sometimes you feel unmotivated and you feel like you don't have energy. But when you say to yourself, you know what, I'll just do it for 1 minute. That thing that you don't feel motivated to do, you're like, I'll just give it 1 minute. I just put a timer and I give myself 1 minute. And then in the end, you do it anyway, right? Sometimes it's that start, that first push that we need. But sometimes you really don't feel like it, and you really just you don't have to. There are many things that you do have to do, but there are so many unnecessary pressures that we put on ourselves of things that we don't really have to do at that moment. And it's okay to sometimes just do nothing, get lazy. We call it lazy when we just give ourselves a rest, give ourselves that moment on the couch with some tea, with some nice music, but make it a quality thing. Don't make it like a Netflix scrolling on Facebook kind of thing. Give yourself that quality rest when you feel like, you know what, now I just want to snuggle up, and that's totally fine. But that's the thing, when energy is flowing, Mads, it's like it's unpredictable, and that's something we don't like. We never know what our energy is going to be like every day, and it's kind of that mindfulness around it, of being kind to yourself, following it, knowing when you don't feel motivated, and you can actually bend it a bit, and know when it just doesn't want to, and honor that whenever you can, giving that the space to be kind to yourself and be like, okay, not forcing yourself too much. Matt says it's mainly if you're working with people and you need to perform and give a certain experience, even though it's not authentic. That is a hard one. That is true. That is not you alone anymore. That is a team of people. And then it's that communication between the people of, when are you going to get something ready? When are you not going to get something ready? Especially when one of the people, I feel that when there's a team and there's one other high achiever, and I'm a high achiever too, it's like boom, 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 the energies, and yeah, we can get it done for that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you kind of, two high achievers together, oh man, that can really, then you need to protect your energies and be like, okay, become realistic and and balance out your energies, right? But it is tough that sometimes in groups, when you need to put out a job together, you cannot really be authentic, and you need to, that's a juggle and a challenge to see how much can I give, how much will I let them take from my authenticity, and how much of my authenticity can I still put in this, and how, at what level can I feel satisfied with this, at what level is acceptable for me without giving all of me away. I feel like that's a different topic. It does have to do with energy because it's draining when you cannot be authentic, but that's that whole area of accepting how much of your authenticity you can sacrifice when you work with a group so that they can be authentic, so that there's the group energy, but also being true enough to your own energy and your own authenticity so that you don't lose yourself and push yourself too much in that group work. So that is a good topic to talk about next time, Mads, or another life, where when you're with other people, how to do that with your energy, right? Because we're social animals and we often feel like we're people pleasing and we're collaborating with colleagues. And that's when we have that extra challenge of listening to ourselves. And the first thing you need for that is being in tune with yourself. So that's being your own energy expert, guarding your own energy whenever you can. And the next step is learning to do that with other people, with the people around you. And the stronger your connection is with yourself, the easier that's going to be. The easier you're going to be authentic to yourself. You're going to be self-confident. Your motivation, that fire is burning. So you have the excitement, you have a good relationship with yourself. You start prioritizing, you create the space for flexibility and mental rest. And when you're an energy expert in your own bubble, it's funny to use that word right now, but in your own bubble, then you can easily learn that skill as well with other people in your life. Now, in what way do you feel inspired right now to restructure and simplify your life? To become an energy expert, like I said in the beginning of this life, you need to first simplify the things you have. Simplify your schedule, simplify your life, restructure things, and see what unnecessary pressures you're putting on yourself. Hey, Juliet, it's awesome to have you here. If you want, you can watch the replay. I'm glad to have you here. And we're talking about how to become an energy expert. And I know, Juliet, you're really good in juggling with your energy and all the things you're combining in your life. And I know it's hard. I know you're doing a lot and you're a high achiever, but you are a healthy high achiever. And it's so great to have you on this live. Because I'm asking you guys, which unnecessary pressures can you lift? What are the unnecessary pressures you're putting on yourselves that you really don't need right now? And how can you honor the amount of energy you have each day? That's the last idea of it, or example I want to give you today is the first time I went to a yoga class, I was amazed. I don't know if any of you are doing yoga. Do you remember what they tell you? What do they say exactly? When they give you these three options to do a certain movement. You're in a yoga class and they kind of tell you, just do whatever your body is allowing you to do today. Do whatever, every day. They kind of teach you that notion of every day your body's different. And if you're feeling like doing the most advanced version of this movement, you do this. If you feel like being gentle with yourself and today is not the day to push, do this. So for me, that was a shocker because it was the complete opposite of what I was used to, of always the pushing through mentality and competitive sports and stuff. But they really just let you, yes, so Kaina, she loves yoga. They really let you follow the flow of your body. Juliet says, I realized that I have to let go of things I feel may be important. Yeah. So you feel like they're not unnecessary pressures, but they are things that are important. When you're juggling with too many balls, you need to kind of mind map and see how much energy do I have? Not only how much time, but how much energy do I have at this moment, this month, this week? And how much can I really take on? If all these juggling balls are important, you can think for yourself, which one can I either delegate? Which one can I simplify? Which one can I put off? Which one can I do different? And it's that brainstorm with yourself or with a friend or with me that you look at the mind map of all the juggling balls you're juggling with right now, and you feel like, okay, how can I do this in a way that is honoring my body? Juliet says, it is hard, but that's when I know what is truly important. Yeah, absolutely. It's even, you have a mind map of all the important things, and even then you have to see what is the most important, what is truly important for me, but also right now at this moment in time that I have to prioritize right now. So that's about prioritizing and juggling, but that's also, and it's super important to become the energy expert you can be, of not only thinking of how much time do I have and how many things of these things can I do with the time I have, but really checking in with your body and listening to your energy level as well. If you're already feeling drained, it's useless to start filling up every time slot, because that's when you will mentally and physically, you will become down, you will become sick, and you will keep pushing, and that just goes for worse things, that just goes to worse, to chronic disease, it goes to depression, it goes to burnout. You keep pushing yourself and it will get worse and worse and worse. So that's why we cannot think in units of time, but that moment we really have to think about the energy we have and how much can you do with the energy you have in that week, in that day, while honoring your body, while being kind to yourself, while giving yourself the rest that you need. And I hope, Juliet, it's working for you. I know this month, I know for you, you have a lot going on and your exams and combining with work and all you're doing. But I'm pretty sure that you will become, this is the biggest challenge, to really become an energy expert, to get creative, get mind mapping, get going with that. And we are here as a Healthy High Achievers community to support you in that. And that's something I want to say to all the others. When you're juggling, post something in the group. Just tell others like, hey, I'm struggling with this. How do you guys do that? And let's help each other out. So Kaina says, sort of like backlog management and prioritization. but including empty slots in the lot. Or did I not get it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you say that, I want to share my screen quickly once again to show the roadmap here. What you see, you're talking about empty spaces in your schedule, right, Sukaina? So when you see step 3, the empty schedule, it's you gave your schedule a total makeover. Show us a picture of the empty spaces in your schedule. I know they feel scary, but remember, this is phase 1. That is like the third building block of the roadmap, where it's so important to include empty spaces. I think, honestly, that is the first thing you should put in your schedule. It's the empty spaces. Why? This is something I learned 10 years ago when I was struggling with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. The first thing I needed to put in my schedule in order to do something was empty spaces. When I wanted to go to a friend's party on Saturday, I needed to empty the whole of Saturday, empty the whole of Sunday to be able to recover, because I had a very small bucket of energy. That is how I became an energy expert, because I had very little energy and I wanted to do what was important to me. So that's the first thing you actually should put in your schedule. It's empty spaces to recover, to restore, and know that resting is productive. You're filling your energy bucket, right? And we always think that we can keep going without, that our batteries are like unlimited, that we can keep going without recharging our batteries. Well, they need a moment of rest. And it's funny how right now we opened the discussion, we started, the life is actually about this step, but you see how the whole roadmap, all the building blocks need to be in place, because all of a sudden we were talking about the mind map of what matters, right? Filtering your activities and people and stuff and information, the juggle. We were talking about the pause button and how next week we're going to do a challenge together of give your brain a break, to actually take a break and to rest and give your body the mental and physical rest it needs. And now we switch to the empty schedule and how important it is to put empty spaces in your schedule. And soon, when you get access to the Healthy High Achievers Online Academy, soon, still this month, you're going to get the second online course is going to be available about this, actually, about how to plan your weekly schedule in a way that honors your energy, how you can think in units of energy with the empty spaces, but also thinking about the roles you play in your life, the different roles you have. As for me, it could be, I am a warm friend, I am a health coach, an entrepreneur, I'm a singer, I am a daughter and a granddaughter, I am a connector here in this community. And I look at my roles and I see what are the most important tasks in each role. I put them in first, along with the empty spaces. And all the rest is just emergency things, to-do lists, anything else that comes up. So there is going to be an online course on this. I'll stop sharing here. There is going to be a course on that soon, so that, because I do feel like that is part of the first leg of the journey. And I do feel like we can all have need some help to plan our weekly schedule in a way that's not filling up every time slot. Juliet says, yes, it happened to me when I was younger. Never again. It is a constant journey. Absolutely. It is a constant journey. And Sukaina says, got it. That is the thing. It is a constant journey. And that's why we're on this journey together. As healthy high achievers, you can never, the journey is to become a healthy high achiever. We already are. Each of us is already a healthy high achiever in some way. The journey is never done. It's a constant, as high achievers, we want to achieve a lot in life. We want to be active. We like doing things. We have that fire, and our brains are very active, right? And that is why our whole life we will have to protect that energy, get better at it, become energy experts, and always keep cultivating that notion of paying attention to our body, because you will have a setback, you will get super busy, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing in Healthy High Achievers. That's why the community is here to remind you. oh yeah, right. I need to think of, I need to be grateful, and I need to think of my empty spaces, and I need to mind map what really matters because I'm too busy again. And then again, you're that healthy high achiever. And then you have a setback again. Something happens, a bump in your life or important events, and you get super busy again, and your physical health is like suffering. And then you realize, oh yeah, I need to work on myself again. I'll go to the Healthy High Achievers Online Academy and take that course, or do the 10-day challenge again to calm my system. And that's why we're here. You can always post something in the group for us to help you. I'll be in there every day, and let's support each other to become healthy high achievers, guys. Juliet says, I emptied my Friday and Sunday schedule last week to honor my energy. I'm so proud of you, Juliet. I'm glad you didn't only free one evening or one day, but you chose 2 full days. Look at that. And I'm pretty sure you even did something useful or important those days. But at least you have that intention of, you know what, this is what my body needs. I need to honor it. And that only happens when you have a good, strong connection with yourself. Okay, guys, what a great conversation. I love hanging out with you. My normal lives are 10 minutes. Now we're half an hour, but this is what we're here for. This is what these lives are for. This is just us having this discussion, opening it up for whatever is happening for you, whatever goes through your mind, and interact about it. I just wanted to close off by expressing my deepest appreciation for your presence here. And I really hope to see you tomorrow in the online meetup.